Hello, welcome to the 10th devlog on the adventures of Sock Puppet Jim. Now, I know last time I promised that I would have made the characters by this point. However, characters are much harder to make than buildings. Still, I've made a major dent in that now you can get 90% of the way to hiring 2 of the 3 construction workers. This is most of the main quest of the game, which means I'm really close to finishing it. Now, the main reason I didn't continue with the characters is that I want to fully implement each character into their own questline, so it takes much longer. But that's also how I've done most of these 2 construction worker quests. So, in today's video, I'm going to run through my process of making quests and give an example with a full quest from the game. Let's go. So, to start off, I want to go through the process I use to make quests. The first step to this is the objective. This is really simple. It's just the end goal or thing that the player is trying to achieve overall. For my game, I have find the 3 construction workers as the main goal. Then, and this especially works when you only have one objective, you branch it out into different things. For example, if the overarching goal is find the 3 construction workers, then each of the 3 will have their sub-goal. So, find construction worker 1, find worker 2, find worker 3. Now, you don't need that one main goal. In games where there are multiple different ways to reach the ending, you can simply just have those ways be their own goal. Or if you dislike having one big goal, you can just put the top sub-goals. Now, it's important here to not be overly specific. That will come in other ways later. But you don't want find construction worker 1 by doing X, Y, and Z. Just find construction worker 1. Once you do that, you can move on to the next step. The next step is the hints or descriptions of the quests. These are much more straightforward than the objectives. They're just little descriptors under the quests that give some information about it. For example, here, for the Find the Construction Workers quest, I have it say that they will help to unbury the train. Or, for one of the construction workers, I give the player an example of where they obtain the information. If you want to format it differently, you can have the objective be slightly more generic, but maybe give some more hints. For example, find a 3rd construction worker is pretty generic, but the description here gives a lot more information about how the player should investigate anything shady that's been happening. There are other ways to give hints than in the description, though. You can order the quests to give players an inkling into what might be happening. For example, right after the Missing Worker quest is the quest for Robert's party and how it seems shady. Players that pay attention might put 1 and 1 together to see that these 2 quests might have more in common than they appear. Now that you've made the foundations of the quests, you can get into the steps to actually making it. This step is the most free form of all the steps so far. This is the actual actions that the player has to take to achieve the goal. I tend to do this from the top down. Instead of starting with action 1 to action 2 to action 3 to completion, I go completion to action 3 to action 2 to action 1. And I connect them all in a tree diagram like this. To show this, I'm going to give an example of a full quest in my game. So for the construction worker that has gone missing, the last step is to save him. But where and what do you save him from? I decided a cult ritual. So where is it going to be? In this warehouse. The warehouse is locked though, so you have to get in. So how can you get through the locked door? Well, I think of some ways to get through a locked door. You can ram through the door. You can go through the back entrance. You can pick the lock. You can be given a set of keys. You can have someone else unlock it for you. Or maybe you could just knock. So I decided on 2 of them. Let's go with picking the lock and getting someone else to do it for you. Now you can make a branch in the tree and go down 1 branch. So where do you get the lockpicks? Well, they're needed for a different quest, so why don't you just use them for both? And so you connect the trees and use the rest for both quests. Now go back. How do you get someone else to unlock it for you? Well, if it's a cult ritual, why not have a cultist invite you? That'll work great. So now I have a whole quest that I can go through and set up and implement each step individually. I know it was short, but that's all I really have for today's video. I know that this quest menu isn't the best, but for now it works pretty well. I probably will change it at some point, though. I might use the dialogue system to say the quest stuff, but for now I'm going to be keeping it like this. I'm not really sure what I'm going to be doing for the next video. I've been pretty busy recently, but I hope by July, I can start doing some daily-ish live streams for game development, because I really do need to finish this game up. So, if you want to see more videos and those live streams, please subscribe, it does help. The same with liking and sharing the video. But anyway, that's all for today's video. I hope you enjoyed, and have a great day.